Hey guys, it's Chris here with your 3-card pull. Today I'm going to be using the Soulmate Edition in the colorway of Sultry. So it's that hot pink and black color variation. I'm going to pull 3 different messages for 3 different groups. So if you're joining me here, you can go ahead and take a moment and think about something within your love life that has been on your mind, on your heart. I want you to sit with that question and then ask yourself, is the message from group 1, 2, or 3 for me today? So whenever you're tuning in, even if you watch this video 2 weeks from now, there's something here for you. Just take that something and leave the rest. So right now, just take a deep breath in. And sit with your question around romance, dating, love life. I'm pulling from the Soulmate Truth deck today. So let's go ahead and dive into group number 1 and see what messages are here for you. All right, group number 1, your cards. We have feeling pressured and offer patience. Feeling pressured and offer patience. A lot of us don't like the word patience. It's aggravating. It makes you want whatever is being held away from you that much more when someone says, be patient, be patient. But this spread is saying to group number 1, this is the time to release. This is the time to let go. Because the more that you try to push against something and make something happen within dating, within love, you've been waiting for that partner to come in and be a viable candidate for that long-term relationship that you've been looking for. So you keep pressuring, you keep getting readings about it, you keep thinking about it, you're not focused on the love that you have in your life, like your family, your friendships, your coworkers that have become friends. You're not valuing them because you're so caught up in the idea of love being a certain way. That pressure feeling is taking you out of the moment. So it's making you notice what's missing that much more. And Spirit is saying you have to be patient with the journey. There's something for you to learn through this journey. There's a reason why you're being held here. And until you realize it, until you relinquish control and just say, you know what, I let go, I'm going to be here because I know that I'm deserving of love. I know that I'm deserving of my partner either getting it right or getting out. I know that I'm deserving of clarity within my dating life. And when you have that awareness of what you're worth and you know that you're not being punished by the universe, ultimately things will clear up and they will happen for you. But you have to get out of that pressure feeling. Some of you are feeling pressured because you feel like time is ticking. Other friends are in marriages. Other friends have their babies. Other friends are doing ABC. But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. They may not be happy. They may have issues within their situation that causes them to doubt it every day. They may be in something but feel like they're settling. You should not compare your journey to anyone else's because all that's offering is connection with someone else's vibration. And that's not the truest expression of who you are and what you want. So you could end up like manifesting something that they've been asking for. You get it, and you're not even a fit for that situation, but you've been lusting over an idea, over a story that you see being broadcast on Instagram, on Facebook. But then when you get it, this isn't it. This isn't even for me. So be patient, stay in your lane, watch where you're going, and ultimately you will get what you desire in love once you remove that pressure. That pressure only connects to a feeling of insecurity and a lack of trust. And neither one of those do you want when you're trying to manifest love. Let's go to group number 2. Group number 2, what messages are for you today? Let's see, group number 2. All right, so we have codependency and falling out of love. Codependency and falling out of love. So these messages combined are saying your connection to someone else, your unhealthy reliance on that connection is making you not even value like the love that you once had with that person. It's making you grow distant. It's making you have this resentment feeling, because ultimately when you're either with someone because of what they can give you and not necessarily just because of the compliment that they add to your reality, you feel drained over time. For example, if you're with someone because they financially are taking care of you and you thought that that was going to fulfill you, and that is codependency, but ultimately you just don't feel that excitement. You don't feel that spark that you may have when you first found that person. Or maybe you're with someone because you don't want to feel alone. You don't want to just be with yourself. That's again a form of codependency. So then you're using them to just not deal with your own demons, and ultimately that can't sustain itself. You end up falling out of love with that person, falling out of the connection that you thought you were getting, because it's not going to fill that void. It's not going to make or repair the relationship that you have with yourself. You could be with someone because they give you a sense of like security in terms of how they adore you. Like you love the way they give you attention, the way they honor you, the way they put you on this pedestal. And that's codependency, because again, you're seeking validation from outside of yourself. It's lopsided. It's not really coming from you. So that affects the love between the both of you. Ultimately, look at the codependent behaviors that you may have had in the past. Really take time to see, how can I get things in better balance? How can I get things more aligned with me feeling whole and then attracting another whole individual? If you are single right now, this spread is saying, if you're looking for love, there's some type of addiction to an unhealthy habit that is keeping you out of love. So if you are addicted to worry, anxiety, just fear-based thoughts in general when it comes to love, if you're addicted to, just being too sexual, being out here, and you're wondering why is no one staying, but you're really rushing towards the passion, you're rushing towards that quick fix, but you're not getting deeper with someone, that's going to keep you out of a deeper love. If you're addicted to the chase, like you're addicted to people who are emotionally unavailable and you're just dying to always have a project in someone. So I know people like that. They come to me and they ask, why am I attracting emotionally unavailable people? Well, that's a form of codependency, because you're looking for people on a subconscious level that make you not value yourself. So there's something there. You're looking for validation from people who clearly aren't going to give it to you. They're not in a place to be open or vulnerable or giving in that way, but you keep going after them. That's an unhealthy addiction to a pattern of behavior. And it's time for you to heal that so that you can find love, that you fall into love instead of keeping up the trend of attracting people who can't give you what you're desiring. So codependency and falling out of love are the messages for group number 2. Take those in and develop a plan to heal that, to see how valuable you are, to see that you don't have to chase things that are unattainable, to see that you don't have to be with people to fill a void or a need, because that is short term. It's not going to be long-term fulfillment. Group number 3, let's see what messages are for you from the Soulmate Edition. All right, we have separate and happy with you. Separate and happy with you. So I feel the strongest message here is saying, now is the time. If you are in a relationship that is not fulfilling to you, it's time to take a step back, to create some space, and to figure out how to just be happy with you. Like in single territory, happy with how amazing you are, how your world is full of things to be grateful for, because ultimately whatever person you may be lusting after or trying to make it work with, it's not working. It's not giving you stability, and it's not allowing you to have that sense of peace, that sense of joy with yourself. So maybe taking a step back and saying, okay, maybe let me look at this from a different perspective. This person has this set of personality traits while I have these, personality traits, and we're just not seeing eye to eye no matter how much we try. Maybe let's take a step away and see if happiness comes into our lives while we're away from each other. It doesn't always need to be a permanent end. People get so afraid of space, but space is a healing thing, and oftentimes it can bring people back together, but you have to have that time to just be with you, to just be happy with you, because in the space of being alone, being with self, you can really take inventory. Like, how do I really feel? Like, I can be honest with myself now because the person isn't staring me in my face and asking for an answer. I can be honest with myself. Like, am I happy? Do I really get my needs met through this person, etc.? And then if you are not dealing with someone and you get the separate card, it's still saying two messages. It's still saying spend time, again, being away so that you can develop a deeper relationship with self. And it's also saying start to notice some ways that you may be keeping people separate from you. So some people really want a relationship in this group number 3, but they keep pushing people away, maybe subconsciously. Maybe it's through your fear of intimacy, so you self-sabotage. Maybe it's through just not being vulnerably self-aware, so you don't notice some of the ways that you approach people could be off-putting, and that comes from not being happy with self. Like, you're just not a happy person. Maybe you're going through some stressful times and you want that aid, you want that support, but you may be coming off in a way that just pushes people away. It just doesn't sit well with people, so it keeps you separate. This is the time to be honest with yourself. Like, have you been bitchy lately? Have you been doing things that would turn people off or turn people away from you? Have you been biting people's heads off? Or have you been so closed off? Maybe things are really going on in your life and people can tell, and they come to you and they ask to be there for you, and then you don't tell the truth. Like, I'm okay, I'm all right, like, things are good, it's fine. Well, that's what keeps you separate from people. You're not a vulnerable person. And oftentimes when we're looking for companionship, people want to really connect with somebody on a raw level. Like, I'm not perfect. I know you're not perfect, right? But if you keep this wall up and you don't let people see the weaknesses that you hold, I mean, hey, it's again tied to shame. It's again tied to that story of I'm not happy with myself, so I want to stay away. And this is something, especially for a lot of guys that I see, clients that want to have everything perfect in their reality. They want to have that house. They want to have that raise, that promotion at work. They want to have all of these things until, before they get a romantic partner. And so you keep yourself separate because you keep wanting to be happy with yourself and happy with where you're at. But ultimately, remember, happiness should not and cannot sustain itself when it is based on things outside of yourself. It doesn't matter what raise you get. It doesn't matter what new house you get, what whip you're driving. Ultimately, if you're just not happy with who you are as a person, like sans everything else, you will continue to be separate from people, or you will be in a relationship but still feel lonely. Okay? So that's our final message for group number 3. All right, so again, I was pulling from the Soulmate Edition. This is sultry. We also offer this deck, which includes 100 cards in the sweet variety. And the sweet color palette is the reds and the pinks for those who like the lighter color vibe. So I am wearing my Queen of Pentacles sweatshirt. We sell this on prettyspirits.com too. My Pretty Spirits necklace. I'm decked out today. You guys, if you are looking to schedule a reading with me before the end of the year, I suggest do so because we will be changing our services as we enter next year. So DM readings, the shorter readings, they will not be offered as much. They will be offered through me elsewhere. But on our website, we will be offering deeper services, more specific styles of healing work. So stay tuned for that. But if you want a love reading, if you want something before the new year, I suggest you get on over to prettyspirits.com and book with me before the year is out. Thank you so much, you guys, and I will see you next week.